Throwing Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now let's talk a little heavyweight news. You know what I'm saying? A little heavyweight boxing news. Talk a little Tyson Fury. But before we do, let me take y'all back a little bit. Most people when you're younger, on your street, you have races and stuff. Boom, you be running to find out who the fastest dude on the street is. I don't know if kids still do that. They hanging in front of the PlayStation, man. Stuff is getting so virtual, man. They ain't gotta leave no more. But some kids still get out there. You be knowing who the fastest dude on the street is, right? You know how he's a fast dude on the street? Because after months, you be like, okay, well, cool. Can I get a head start? Let me get a head start. I bet you can't beat me with a head start. That's when you know the fastest dude on your street. And sometimes boxing is like that to me. You know what I'm saying? People want to get in and get a head start. Instead of just say, hey, you know what? You're the fastest. You're the best. Say that first, because that's what you say when you want a head start. Is that you're better, and in this case, you're faster. You don't need a head start unless you're inferior, right? And then a lot of times, because I've seen, and sometimes over the years, I can remember Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, right? Mayweather offered him 40 million, wanted him to take a drug test, right? You got to take a drug test. You're gonna get this 40 million. This is one of the biggest fights in history. We want to make sure everybody's on an even playing field. Who do people get mad at? Floyd Mayweather for asking, like, hey, Floyd, fight a dope guy. That's what you need to do. He's Manny Pacquiao. He can beat you. He's dope. You're supposed to be so good, right? Right? You're supposed to be so good, right? Right? You fight the dope Manny Pacquiao without even with no fear of saying it, no apprehension of saying it. Felt good in their skin saying that to this brother. Right? What you were saying is, hey, we think he needs to be dope to beat you. You would think that would be an isolated incident, now wouldn't you? Well, you remember our heavyweight champion, the one that we don't want to call the best heavyweight in the world, Deontay Wilder. Remember when he was supposed to go to Russia to fight Povetkin? Right? He was already in England training, so he wouldn't be something but an hour or two behind the time difference. Already in England training. Bam, bam, bam. What happens? Povetkin get caught dope. Right? Meldonia. That was the Medonium time. That wasn't the Osterine time. But that was Medonium time, right? Boom. What were people telling Deontay Wilder? You scared. Why don't you fight him dope? You scared. Now, Deontay Wilder tried to fight everybody dope. By the way, let me just make that clear. Because Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz, the other one, no one else will fight. Deontay Wilder asked to fight him even though he was doped. Right? But it's high blood pressure medicine. But Deontay didn't care. Right? But you just asked to fight dope people. I just want to put that out there all the time. Because those are things that just keep happening, right? And so when they happen to a grown-ass man in front of his eyes, he's going to say something about it. Because that's what it is. When I talk boxing, I call it BTBG, right? Because I've been watching for decades. It's just ridiculous sometimes. Listen to the crowds. You never really giving them props or love. It is what it is. So we're talking Tyson Fury now. And there's some eerie similarities to Ronda Rousey in MMA. Now, people probably don't want to hear about Ronda Rousey right now because it's one of those instances where you got slapped in the face pretty quickly, right? Ronda Rousey had about 10 fights, and she was supposed to be the best MMA fighter of all time. She was starting to box, and she was supposed to be a great boxer at the time. It's like, well, that's her weakness, but she's good at that, right? Pushing up on Floyd Mayweather. And I even thought I heard that she was even supposed to be Floyd Mayweather in a boxing match. But, people say, well, that wasn't him. So I haven't looked for it. But I know that she was supposed to be able to beat him in a cage match, right? For sure. Ronda Rousey is the best one. And they put her on the boxing Bible. That's why I don't pay attention to it. Instead of Mayweather. That was the year Mayweather beat Manny Pacquiao, by the way. The biggest fight of all time. She was on, the Ring magazine, which is a boxing magazine, instead of Floyd Mayweather. Because he's not affiliated. But it doesn't matter. At that point, it's obviously give it to Mayweather. But okay, you get Ronda Rousey. Supposed to be the greatest fighter of all time. That's how she was being labeled really quickly after 10 fights. Well, the good thing about it is right after that, Holly Holm got her, and after that, Amanda Nunes got her too, and made her look very, very pedestrian, right? Very, very pedestrian. Her aura was gone completely. There comes in the WWE, right? Boom. Well, let's get her fake fighting, because she knows how to walk out and look mean. Let's get her fake fighting. right? Fake fighting, you can still sell her doing that. And hey, it worked out for him, right? That's no shame in Ronda Rousey's game, but society and what boxing was trying to do, and all this extra hype very quickly. It doesn't have to, and that's not shoving it down your throat without even without thinking of what. Wait a minute, she hasn't fought everybody. Hold up on that. Greatest of all time. Now, I'm just gonna put Loma real quick in there. Loma, after 2 fights, he was already gonna be the best. After he lost his second fight, Loma lost his second fight. Do people realize that? He lost his second fight to a man with 13 losses, Orlando Salido. Right? But he has to be pound for pound number one. Has to be. It just you shove it. Don't. There's no. Hey, hold up. Well, no, not yet. Like they do Terrence Crawford. No, hold up. No, not yet. You got to still do this or that. Right. So Ronda Rousey, that happened. She was at WWE. Now Tyson Fury, who is great but has a weak resume. He's the very best heavyweight. And Let It Ring magazine or ESPN or somebody like that tell you he's the very best heavyweight. Right. Matter of fact, he's the favorite in this fight now. By the way. Um, And I just don't think he acts like the very best heavyweight. I don't think there would be an Otto Wallin and Tom Swartz, consecutively. You put a Deontay Wilder in between that, but before that was Pianetta and Sarah and I'm about to say Samaretta, right? But Safari, right? It's too many from your last 5 fights. There's too many of those. Now he had a break from boxing, but that was self-inflicted break plus a doping offense that people try to act like didn't. That's what happened, the doping offense, and then the other things happen, right? So, with all that being said, hey, WWF, WWE, whatever, they're happy to have him. I told you, Tyson Fury to the WWE is a no-brainer. His promoter's supposed to get him in there. He's obviously a WWE candidate, and he did a good job. I ain't never look at it because I ain't got time to be looking at that. Right, but I mean, he obviously did a good job at it. I know that when he beat Brown Showman or Strowman or whatever his name was, went out there and beat him. And he's in WrestleMania talks. Triple H, one of the big ones there. He said that Tyson Fury got a bright future in WWE if he wants to, and our doors are always going to be open. As soon as he gets serious about it, we're down for that. All right. And listen, when you're talking wrestling, right? WrestleMania is their big thing. That's their pay-per-view event. You know, Annual pay-per-view event, WrestleMania. They're talking Tyson Fury for WrestleMania, so he's hooked up if something goes wrong here from Tyson Fury's perspective. And it just the eerie similarities is when you're hooked up with that, things can happen. Holly Holmes, y'all remember that. If you don't know how Holly Holmes got rid of your girl, you probably want to go look at it. Or if you like Ronda Rousey, maybe not. And don't look at Amanda Nunes either. That stand-up game was like categorically, put to rest. That's her problem. Her weakness is stand-up game, right? So you shouldn't have been talking about what she could possibly do that early. But never learn, because why society ain't gonna make them never learn. Do you think Trump is gonna wake up and stop saying some crazy stuff on his tweets? I told you the reason if he woke up and 92% of America said stop with the BS. We're not that racist that we like that anymore. We're one to go the right way and stop that. 92%, he would stop that. But if you wake up and 42% is yeah, tell those blah blah blah, tell those blah blah blah, and tell them more. If he gives 42% of that, and when he can say whatever he wants, why would he stop? You see what I'm saying? So there you have it. Now, let's see how it goes going forward. I know it's a little bit pessimistic, but sometimes you just gotta, make sure sometimes. Here is basically all the time. It's just gonna be the truth. It just hurts, or just you look at me and you're gonna see, oh, he's a black guy, right? So he has to say these things. It shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be that way, but it is. Now, Tyson Fury is a great heavyweight, and let me tell you, I just don't think he's number one. He's number two on my list, and because I have Wilder number one and Tyson Fury number two, right? Because Tyson Fury's who he's been fighting in between. I can't say to Wilder, hey, you flatline Ortiz, you flatline Dominic Brazil, you flatline Ortiz before that, you flatline actually Tyson Fury too, but he got up. And then before that, you just flatline highlight reeled Remain Stavern. The way that these guys are getting beat, you just have to, when you're looking at that, fair, objective, because of the way he's beating these guys and who he fought, I can't put Tyson Fury in front of him. Because I would want Tyson Fury to work for it, right? But beating Deontay Wilder would do. But even if he didn't fight Deontay Wilder, if Tyson Fury would have beat Ortiz before, and Wilder would have fought Otto Wilding, we having a different conversation. Tyson Fury gets rid of Ortiz out of there already. Knocked Ortiz out like Wilder did twice, but just once. This conversation is a little bit different. But we fought. You got knocked down twice. You go run to Otto Wallin and Tom Swartz. I go fight Dominic Breazeale as another mandatory. Just keep getting out of the way, but main Instagram. But Dominic Breazeale, and after that, Luis Ortiz again in a rematch that I didn't have to do to take something that ludicrous of a fight. I can't put another heavyweight champion in front of him. Plus, he has the belt that long. So that's why he is. But be it said, Tyson Fury is 1B. He's right there. And if he beats him, he's won. So this is Tyson Fury we're talking about. We're not trying to down on Tyson Fury because this boy can box, but he's huge as hell. Then make sure you can understand something. This could be the title. Think about this. Wilder goes 12 rounds with a Behemoth. Right? 12 rounds with the Behemoth. A huge man. Maybe probably they got to say it in meters so they really listen to it. 2'10". Tyson Fury. That sounds better to European, 2'10". See, because in the States, it's like, man, shoot, we watch basketball, man. This is a couple of 6'9" dudes. I was my favorite player, 6'9", stuff like that. Because 6'9" they don't sound as good. But to a European, once you hit that 2 meters, that's about 6'7", and 2 meters. So Tyson Fury would be about 208, something like that, right? 2'8", Tyson Fury, right? 115 kilograms, right? That's a big old dude. Yeah, it's a big dude, and to be skilled. This ain't no, but you can have a title like that instead of Wilder was exposed. So how was a smaller guy, right, exposed? This guy is the very best heavyweight and outweighs him by 50 pounds, and the smaller guy who knocked him down twice is exposed. We could have just simply said, hey, Wilder goes 12 rounds with the Behemoth. Wilder withstood 12 rounds with Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury withstood 12 rounds, got up twice, and that's the story. Wilder wasn't hurt, wasn't stumbled, has 2 or 3 highlights, Tyson Fury, and the perception is he won the fight. Think about that. So it could easily, let's make sure it's clear. Wilder goes 12 rounds with the Behemoth. That could have been the title too, but we ain't looking at it that way. So just be careful. I don't really like the WWE thing with Tyson Fury because it can be a distraction. Because you already got it going on after the fight. I don't know if that distracts Tyson Fury. But then again, it's Tyson Fury we talk about. Tyson Fury loves distractions, right? He loves distractions. So this is a different kind of character here. This guy, when it's time to fight, and I'm going to make sure to cut it off with this. We'll sign off after this. But I got to say this. Tyson Fury, and I always say this, when he gets knocked down, the fight starts, right? Seen it with Wilder, seen it with Steve Cunningham. He gets up and realizes how big he is, and he's going to fight. When he gets knocked down, he's going to probably win the rest of that round, right? That's not a coincidence. This is a fighter, okay? It's a fighter. So I want to make sure that in this video, giving the man props that he deserves, because this is definitely Tyson Fury we're talking about. I think it's just the second best heavyweight. On February 23rd, we will know more. But beware of that Ronda Rousey thing. I don't like it. What about you? Doma Sports Talk, worldwide. And I'm about to hear y'all.